Love, love will keep us together. Think of me, babe, whenever some sweet talking guy comes along, singing a song. Don't mess around, you got to be strong. So stop, 'cause I really love you. Stop, I'll be thinking of you. Look in my heart and let love keep us together. You belong to me now. I ain't gonna set you free now. When those guys start hanging around, taking me down, here with your heart and you won't hear a sound. So stop, 'cause I really love you. Stop, I'll be thinking of you. Look in my heart and let love keep us together. Whatever. Hi guys, this is how to play Love Will Keep Us Together by the Nickelback version, originally by Neil Sedaka. This is a request of one of my students, Joe Smerko. So this is for you, Joe, and anyone else who wants it, really. Joe just got in touch with me via a message on my website, so you know this is hopefully something that I'll be doing more of for the rest of you guys watching me online. In the description below, I'm working off a chord sheet that I've made up for myself and for you guys. So please download this in the links below or in an annotation and follow this chord sheet to help you be able to play it. The original song, the Nickelback version, is in drop D, which I'm going to be covering the effects of that later on in the video. I'm going to do that towards the end because my kind of whole website is dedicated to absolute beginners and people just kind of getting to grips with song. I'm going to teach this with standard open chords to begin with, but as I say, the way that Nickelback do it, I'll be showing you towards the end. Okie dokie. Your first chord in this, along a similar sort of lines, is a B power chord. So if we're new to power chords, then this first chord is going to be really tricky for you, but it only crops up twice in the song, right at the start and right at the end. But a B power chord, the way that we want to play it for your intro, is with your first finger at 2nd fret on the A string, which is a B note. And then we use your power chord shape, which is with your 3rd finger, 2 frets across from wherever your first finger is, and 1 string down. And I like to play power chords with my little finger down as well, and I really encourage my students to do that also. And we only play the strings that you have your fingers pressed down on. 1, 2, 3. So we don't want to play the thickest E string, and we don't want to play the top 2. And you can do the mute after 2 strums, 1, 2, mute with your right hand. But also, when we're using power chords, we can just relax your fingers. If your fingers are touching the strings, but they're not pressing down to the fretboard, it stops automatically. And it's a really, really good for control if you can kind of use both, really. And we have 4 of those pairs of strums. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it's not a big move to our first chord, which is an E major chord. And again, we're just going to be playing kind of the power chord version. In this case, that's just the thicker 3 strings, E, A, and D. And we're going to palm mute them using the outside of our hand, kind of as a karate chop technique, laying down on your bridge to get this kind of chugging type sound, otherwise known as palm dampening, but it's generally considered to be palm muting. And for all the verse until the A, everything's palm muted. If you need kind of closer help with this palm muting technique, please check out my video on what is palm muting, where I show really in depth how to do that. But for now, we need 2 bars of E. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the strumming pattern, we're just doing 8s all down for the majority of the verse. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. but we're palm muting as well. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's your 2 bars of E. Then 2 bars of D major. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And back to E. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. For 2 bars. So 2 E's, 2 D's, 2 E's. They're all palm muted. Okay, so let's just do those together. I'll count you in. Play along to me. In. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, a D. D, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and E. E, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Pause there. This is where we stop palm muting and play 3 bars of an A sus2, which is an A with your 3rd finger taken off. Sounds like this. Normal A major. Whichever way you play an A major, it's your 3rd finger lifted off. And as a kind of hint towards it, you've only got 2 fingers down. So if you've never heard of a sus2 before, for now take it that it means that you've got 2 fingers down on it, on your chord. There's a nice little way to remember it with these basic chords. So that takes us through love. Love will keep us together to your D. Think of me, babe, whenever some sweet talking guy comes along. Sus2 for 3 bars, singing a song. Don't mess around. C to D4. So 3 bars of your A sus2, 2 strums of a C, 2 strums of a D. Really quick change there. Let's go from the A sus2, some sweet talking. Play along to me. Open strumming. Everything on a downstroke, maybe on the beat or doing downs and notes, whatever you're comfortable with, just join into me. 1, 2, 3, 4. A sus2, sus2 again. 1 final time, then C straight to D. And that's the whole first part of the verse, which happens 3 times, and it's only quite a short version of this song, so that's quite a lot of the song actually. So let's make sure we've got this verse sewn up. Palm muting until you're A, and then we're just doing, if you want to do downs and ups, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 from your A chord, that would sound really good as well if you want to kind of up it from on the beat. But let's go from the E major at the start of verse 1. Play along to me, palm muting in 1, 2, 3, 4. Love, love will to a D. Still on D, think of me back to E. To A sus2 and no palm muting. A chord again, and C to D, C to a D. Really quick change there, C to a D. If you struggle, just stay on the C. It will sound totally fine. You gotta be strong, so stop. It'll sound absolutely fine. If you can't get to that D in time, just scrap the D. Your chorus, we have a different type of palm muting where we're going to be having stops. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, not the easiest of techniques, but it's what we're doing in the song. So it's the same idea as this palm muting with chugs, but we're going to be strumming and then putting the outside of your hand down flat to silence your guitar, kind of like we did at the start. But this time, because it's an open E chord, it's got to all be done with your right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Strumming on every beat throughout every chord until we get to the C for Look in My Heart and Let Us Keep Us Together. So just as a demonstration, first of all, we have E, 2, 3, 'cause I really love you. Stop thinking of you. Then normal strumming downs and ups. Keep us together. Okay, so that's just kind of giving you a heads up about the strumming. But your chords, E major for 2 bars. Then a G sus2, which is a beautiful chord. You take your, whichever way you play a G, kind of recommend you do it with your first 3 fingers on this one, but it doesn't matter, big G or a normal G, whichever you prefer. Your first finger though needs to go down by 2 strings. So from where it is now, it's going to go down 1, 2. Checking I was right there. Yep, okay, so one more time. Your first finger goes down 1 string and then 2 strings, okay? So it's the same kind of fingering, possibly a bit more of a stretch, but it sounds really great. It's got that sus2 sound to it. We want to try and mute this A string with your middle finger touching it here, so that doesn't sound. If it does ring out, it won't sound the worst thing in the world. It sounds absolutely fine. But if you can, to make it sound sweeter, make sure that the bottom part of your middle finger is kind of muting it there, like that. Okie dokie. So that's your G9, which happens for 2 bars, and we're still doing this palm muting idea on the beat. So let's just do those 4 bars, those 2 chords, your E and the G chord. From your E, in, 2, 3, 4, start, 2, 3, 'cause I really love G, G, sus2, thinking of you. Okay, and that's the end of your kind of trickier strumming part. Then we got a C9, otherwise known as a Noel Gallagher C, that we've used in lots of songs in the beginner's course. Check out 10 songs with G, C and D if you want to learn more of these, or kind of an introduction to that chord. Look in my heart and let love keep us together. Okay guys, so let's go through that chorus from the top. From your E major, short sharp strums, I will count you in. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. G, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, C. 2, 3, 4, D. And finally E. Whatever. And then we're back up to verse 2, which is the same as verse 1, just with different lyrics, so you'll be palm muting. And that's taught you through your chorus. The only other section of the song is your middle 8, which starts on a C chord, which I would still recommend kind of doing it the Noel Gallagher way, the C add 9. And we have a bar of C, this is on your second page, to a G, straight to a D there in the same bar. So C, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, D, 4. If that's too quick a change for you, just sacrifice that D chord, don't worry about it. It will sound absolutely fine without it, but it'd be better if we can get it. We have an A chord, standard A major, back to an E. So that chorus, the middle 8 just on its own, that first line. Young and beautiful, someday your looks will be gone. And then almost the same again, C to a G, D, A, and then back to the intro. 1, 2, 4 times, okay? And then you're back to a verse, which is the same as before. So just going through this middle 8 nice and slow. From the C add 9. There's only the B chord, which is different strumming. The rest ideally down, up, down, up, down, up. Or just on the beat will sound absolutely fine as well. From your C chord, in, 2, 3, 4. Young and G to D. A back to an E. C, G to D. A straight to a B power chord. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's likely that A to B, which is going to cause any problems, if there are any problems with that section. An option is to try and play an A with your flat first finger, and then it's less of a big change to the B chord, so we're basically barring or playing an A power chord with a flat first finger like this. And then it's just less of a big movement, I guess, but any way that you're playing an A, that change is always going to be a little tricky. So possibly just change from whichever way you're doing to an A. Just drill it a little bit, really. Just change one to the other. Make sure you're getting that motion as good and as fluid as it can be before you put it into this song context. Great stuff. Right, so that is virtually the whole song from the open chords way through it. What I'd like to do now is just do one verse, one chorus, and then the middle 8 through with you, so that we know each section and so we know how they kind of follow on from each other. But I'll not go through the kind of whole song just to kind of save time and keep the time of the video down a little bit, because I want to do your drop D, cover your drop D stuff as well. So B power chord from the start, 4 times, and we're going to do verse 1, chorus 1, and then straight into a middle 8, okay? So 1, 2, B power chord, 1, 2, 3, palm muting, love. E again, then D. Think of me, babe, whenever. Back to E. Some normal strumming, that comes along, singing a song. Don't mess around, you gotta be strong. Chorus, palm mute, stop. I really love you. G9 or G sus2. Thinking of you. Look in my heart and let love keep us together. Okay, middle 8, 2, 3, 4. Young and beautiful. Someday your looks will be back to E. Second line. Others turn you off. Who will be turning you on? I will, I will, I will. And then your verse 3, chorus, rest of the song. That's it, really. Just play along, have a sing along, and see if you can figure it out. Okie dokie. Just to talk you through. Keep banging the end of my guitar. Just to talk you through the drop D tuning. The idea with drop D is we're going to tune your thickest E string down to a D note, so we can do these power chords that we're doing, or this sort of idea, just with a flat first finger barring, which is really useful, but it does change things a little. It changes your E and your D chord. They're the only 2 chords that will be affected in this whole song. The G we can just try and play without your middle finger would be the idea here. So when you're playing a G chord, you will have to mute that thickest E string because it will no longer apply. But let's have a go and let me kind of talk you through why you would want to do this. So we're going to tune your open E string down a whole tone to D, which is about there. And I've used my open D string, which is the 4th string, so that they're now the same note. Really recommend that you use a tuner, but if not, you can tune to that note. And now, for example, this would mean that I can play a D power chord by just hitting the 3 open thickest strings. Which gives us kind of the rock sound. But also, if I played a D chord, for example, a normal D chord, this would give me a D in the bass note, so I don't have to have my kind of thumb on top or anything like that. Sounds really big. Sounds really big and lush, and we can play now power chords with a flat first finger. It's a lot easier than doing this kind of shit. Again, if this is kind of something you've never come across before, it's pretty advanced stuff. But the kind of idea of it is that it sounds heavier, or it sounds, we've got these lower notes playing, but a lot of things become easier. Power chords actually become easier most likely because we're just moving your first finger around, so it is nice to kind of get used to. An E power chord, for example, would now just be a flat first finger at 2nd fret. So for the start of this song, that's your E power chord, flat first finger at 2nd fret, and I'm only playing strings 6, 5 and 4. And then we go to your open strings, but just strings 6, 5 and 4. Again, palm muting them. And that's when you really start to get that sound of the record. When you go to your A sus2, you don't want to play that thickest E string, or the D string now, but you weren't playing it anyway. So that doesn't really change anything. The C and the D, it doesn't change because you're not playing that one string. So it is kind of a very approachable alternate tuning. So your chorus would become flat first finger, I really love you, stop, 'cause I really love you, look in my heart and let love keep us together, whatever. Okay, so it's a cool way of playing it, but in my honest opinion, I would keep to the opened strings way of doing it, just to keep it similar to other songs that you play, and delve into this drop D stuff when it's kind of more appropriate to a heavier riff, or for other advantages. And that's how to play Love Will Keep Us Together by Nickelback. Please subscribe if you dig this video. Keep sending me your requests. I'm getting through them as we speak. I'm driving through them this week, and I'll upload as many as I can. I'll see you again.